How to achieve your goals by clearing all your limiting beliefs. How to achieve your goals by clearing all your limiting beliefs. When you die, what do you want to be remembered for? What is your burning desire? What do you want to achieve in life? What causes you sleepless nights? You would consider yourself a failure if you don't achieve that goal, right? Which goal is that? You have this goal. You know this goal because you have been working very hard at it, but you are unable to achieve that goal. Why are you not achieving this goal? Why? The shortest answer is that you have limiting beliefs. Yes, you have limiting beliefs. You have drawn into your life many limitations, which is making you not to be able to achieve these goals. Limiting beliefs are your problems. You limit yourself in what you think and feel you can achieve. Happily enough, through this audio coaching, I am going to help you to overcome these limiting beliefs and help you go ahead to achieve all those wonderful goals in your life. I will help you liberate yourself. Like Anthony Robbins said, it is not the events of our lives that shape us, but our beliefs as to what those events mean. It is those things that shape our lives. So, since you started growing up to now, whatever your life has become is because of the beliefs you have in your mind. Yes. So, to help you overcome all limitations to achieving your goals, I will show you what limiting beliefs are. I will also show you how you developed these limiting beliefs. I will help you to understand the types of beliefs that commands your life. More importantly, I will help you identify your own limiting beliefs and how they found their way into your life. And finally, I will help you to overcome your limiting beliefs. These would be done in sessions, but for today's session, I am going to take you through what limiting beliefs are so you get to understand them to begin the liberation process. I will also take you through in this session how you developed these beliefs before we move to the next session. So in this session, I want to let you know what limiting beliefs are so you are able to know them and begin the liberation process. Limiting beliefs are those which constrain you in some way or the other. It is just by believing in them. Simple as that. You do not think, do, or say the things that they inhibit, but then they are limiting beliefs. They are limiting beliefs. But in doing so, they impoverish us so much. They impoverish your life. You have beliefs about rights, duties, abilities, permissions, and so on. Limiting beliefs are often about you and your self-identity. The beliefs are sometimes about other people and the world in general that collectively constrain your life. You define yourself by what you do or you do not do. You are an accountant, you are a teacher, you are a lawyer or a life coach as I am, which means you do not do marketing. You do not do electrical works, neither do you fly planes. Hence, you do not even think about selling your services. Neither do you think about flying planes. Hence, you fail to sell your services. Another common limiting belief is around how you judge yourself. You think you don't deserve it, and so you do not expect it or even seek it at all. Again, you often have limited self-image of what you can and cannot do. If you think you cannot sing, then you will never try to or even go to singing lessons to improve your ability. This is the crux of many. That is, I can't. I can't statements are often said by many, and you say them as well. You believe your abilities are fixed and that you cannot learn. Just like everyone else, are bound by values, norms, laws, and other rules that constrain what you must and must not do. However, not all of these are mandatory, and some are distinctively limiting. If you think you must clean the house every day, then this robs you of very valuable time that may be spent in doing something more productive at the time you allocate for cleaning every day. Just as you have limiting beliefs about yourself, you also have beliefs about other people, which can limit you in many ways. If you think others are more capable and superior than you will not challenge them. If you see them as selfish, you will not ask them to help you. You often guess what others are thinking based on your theory of mind and beliefs about them. These guesses are often wrong. Yes, these guesses are often very wrong. Hence, you believe they do not like you, when in fact, they actually have no particular opinion or even think you are rather nice. They think you are rather nice when you think they don't like you. From your guesses at their thoughts, you then deduce their likely actions, which can, of course, be completely wrong. Beliefs are conditions. Beliefs are conditioned perceptions that are built upon old memories of pain and or pleasure. Beliefs are conditioned perceptions that are built upon old memories of pain and or pleasure. These memories are based on how you have interpreted and emotionalized your experiences over time. By attaching yourself emotionally to people, events, and circumstances, you effectively build the foundation of your belief systems. These beliefs are therefore nothing more than psychological rules or even commands to the nervous system that shapes your thoughts and filters your experiences of reality. And it is these commands that influence what you will consciously delete, and it is these commands that will influence what you will consciously delete, distort, or generalize as you go about your daily chores. Beliefs are essentially assumptions you make about yourself, assumptions you make about others, and about how you expect things to be in your world. You have all these theories, you have all these ideas and explanations about how things are and how they ought to be. Likewise, you make all these conclusions about life and about other people, all of which help you make better sense of the world. It makes meaning to only you. In other words, you use beliefs as anchors that help express your understanding of the world around you. Beliefs form the foundations of your expectations. Yes, beliefs form the foundations of your expectations from life. These expectations help you to better understand yourself, to better understand others, and to better understand the world around you. They help you feel more certain about your future, which makes you feel safe and secure. Yes, they help you feel safe and secure. As such, you hold on to these beliefs irrelevant of whether or not they serve you in the present moment, which of course all comes back to the need for certainty. Everyone craves for certainty. It provides us with peace of mind and helps reduce stress and anxiety. And indeed, it helps reduce fear. It is fundamental human need that builds the foundation of all our belief systems. It is important to note that beliefs are not facts. However deeply ingrained beliefs can be, they indeed can be mistaken as facts. Yes, I tell you that beliefs can be mistaken as facts. These beliefs are often nothing more than conclusions you have drawn based on your childhood experiences. Back then, beliefs may have served you, and that is why you have held on to them for so long. However, and I tell you again, however, as an adult, these beliefs no longer serve a purpose. In fact, these beliefs actually become a hindrance as they are no longer compatible with your life or circumstances. Your life has changed. However, your beliefs have remained constant. Your life has changed. However, your beliefs have remained constant, which is why you are feeling stuck in the present. The beliefs you hold on to are often entangled in your language patterns. Therefore, if there is a word for something, then there is probably an accompanying belief associated with that word. I take it again. The beliefs you hold on to are often entangled in your language patterns. Therefore, if there is a word for something, then there is probably an accompanying belief associated with that word. As such, you create your own reality through the use of language, and that traps you within a world based upon perception rather than upon fact. These are what limiting beliefs are. It sets the foundation for me to transform your life by helping you remove all those you have held and that who does not help you. In the second part of this session, I want to use it to let you understand how you developed these limiting beliefs. Experiences. A key way by which you form your beliefs is through your direct experiences. You act, your actions, something happens and you draw conclusions. Often, such beliefs are helpful, but they can also be very, very limiting. Particularly, when you are young and have few experiences, you form false and limiting conclusions. Nature builds us this way to keep us out of harm's way. We learn and build beliefs faster from harmful experiences. For instance, sticking your finger on a hot stove hurts a lot. So you believe that all stoves are dangerous and never touch a stove again. Another example of how experiences helps informing our belief is that if you punch another child and that child beats you up mercilessly, you henceforth believe yourself to be a weak person, right? Another way we form these beliefs are education. When forming your perceptions of the world, you cannot depend entirely on experiences for everything. Hence, you read and listen to your parents and teachers about how the world works and how to behave in it. You take a lot of information from your parents and your teachers. Virtually everything you come to be practicing in your adulthood is learned from your parents and from your teachers. But teachers are not always that well informed, just like your parents. You also learn from what your peers tell you, and they infect you with their beliefs, which of course many are limiting beliefs. Education is a double-edged sword. Take it from me. Education is good, but it is a double-edged sword, as it tells you what is right and what is wrong, what is good and what is bad. It helps you survive and grow. But just because you were told something, you may never try things, and so you miss out on useful experiences and knowledge. I say that because you were told something as a child by your father or by your teacher, you assume there is no other knowledge anywhere. It is what they said which is sacrosanct, and you don't have to test any other knowledge anywhere. Because of this, you end up losing and missing pleasant and useful experiences and knowledge elsewhere. Another way we develop these limiting beliefs are faulty logic. In decisions we make, such as in investment, we use some data to say that there will be some return on investment. So based on our estimations, we easily make conclusions that the investment of time, effort, and money is insufficient, and that there is a low chance of success and high chance of failure. The return may even be negative as we are harmed in some way. People make many decision errors, and you have made many decision errors as well. For example, based on poor estimation of probabilities, you take a little data and generalize it to everything. You go on to say that they are based more on subconscious hopes and fears rather than the reality. The word because can be surprisingly hazardous, because when you use it, it seems like you are using good reason, but this may not be so. This in fact is not so. You like to understand the cause and effect and often do not challenge reasoning that uses the mechanisms of rational argument. Excuses. When you find yourself giving excuses about what you should do or what you should not do, it's a way of developing limiting beliefs. One reason we use faulty logic and form limiting beliefs is to excuse ourselves from what we perceive to be our failures. When you do something and it does not work, you often explain it away. You explain away your failure by forming and using beliefs which justify your actions and leave you blameless. But in doing so, you do not learn and may increasingly paint yourself in a corner, limiting what you would think and do in the future. What I am telling you is that when you have some bitter experience and you explain it away, you lose the fact that you were to learn certain basic facts. Assuming you invest money and you lose the money, instead of you to dig into why you lose the money, you begin to give reasons why you lost money, when in fact they are not factual. So genuinely, if you were to learn how to overcome such investment decisions in future, you lose that opportunity because you didn't analyze it realistically. Another way we develop limiting beliefs are through fear. Limiting beliefs are often fear driven. Locking the belief in place is the fear that if you go against the beliefs, deep needs will be harmed. There is often a strong social component to your decisions, and the thought of criticism, ridicule, rejection by others is enough so powerfully inhibit you. Yes, if you know there will be ridicule, there will be criticism, you will be rejected based on decisions you have made, fear will come into your life. And as soon as the fear begins to come into your life, you are unable to take decisions that helps you achieve your goals. You also even fear that you may be harmed in some way by others. And so you try to avoid them or even seek to appease them and not to go ahead to achieve your goals. If you engage in this over a lifetime, your beliefs are ingrained into your nervous system due to repeated situations that prove their legitimacy in your life. I'm telling you that over time, your beliefs are ingrained into your nervous system due to repeated situations that prove their legitimacy in your life. Throughout your life, you collect facts, evidence, and references that help you form your idea of reality. Over time, you build up more references through the use of your imagination, through the knowledge you acquire, through personal experiences, and through the influence of your peer groups. These references help you form ideas about things. Eventually, some of these ideas turn into opinions that are backed by more certainty and emotional intensity. While holding on to these opinions, you are still quite flexible when it comes to your expectations. However, through the process of repetitive thinking and acting, you continuously repeat your actions in your life. Over time, then your opinions solidify and eventually turn into beliefs. These beliefs are still flexible because you are still growing in the early stages. However, over time, as you keep collecting more references that support each of these beliefs, they grow stronger, more robust, and stable. Eventually, over time, you reach a certain stage in the evolution of each belief where it becomes so deeply ingrained and rooted in your nervous system that your expectations can no longer be changed. I mean, when these references are made that justify why you take an action or the other, and you continuously repeat those actions, over time, it becomes so ingrained in your nervous system, becomes so ingrained and solidify in your life. Even though at this time it is so flexible in the early stages, but I tell you that over time, you keep collecting more references that support each of these beliefs. And these beliefs grow stronger, more robust every day, and they get stabilized. Eventually, over time, you reach a certain stage in the evolution of each belief where it becomes so deeply ingrained and rooted in your nervous system that your expectations can no longer be changed. And this in spite of overwhelming contradictory evidence. I mean, all this you are gathering into your system. There are factual contradictory happenings around, but you don't see them. And that is essentially the stage when a belief turns into a conviction. When there are no available references to lay down the foundations for a belief, some people tend to faith. I mean, when you don't have any available references to lay down the foundations for your belief, you tend to faith. If something hits you, if an information hits you, and you don't have any reference to make into your own life, either through your upbringing or through whatever means, through school, through peers, you don't have where to fix that information. You take the information based on faith. Faith is merely a belief about something that has insufficient real world references supporting it. Faith is merely a belief about something that has insufficient real world references supporting it. If it has real world references, then it means that it is a belief. And if that belief is hindering the achievement of your success, it becomes a limiting belief. You have faith because you desperately want to believe something. And when you desperately want to believe something, you will ignore the facts of the situation and instead use your imagination to help you create the references you need to support that belief. Yes, when you desperately want to believe something, you will ignore the facts of the situation and instead use your imagination to help you create the references, all the references you need in order to support that belief. Over time, you will build up references in your imagination and maybe even find real world examples that doesn't exist, but then they help you support those references. For instance, talking with people who also share your faith can help build enough references to establish a firm belief, even though those references are only based on opinion and not fact. This helps form the foundations of your faith, thereby building a platform for the formation of a belief and eventually a conviction. Yes. Even though those references are not only based on an opinion, those references are only based on opinion and not fact. And this helps form the foundation of your faith, thereby building the platform for the formation of a belief and eventually forms a conviction. I want to add this to you today. How much strength does your beliefs have over you? How much strength does your belief have over you? Your beliefs are at the core of who you are. As such, they influence every aspect of every conceivable way. They influence your life in every conceivable way. For instance, your beliefs will determine your expectations and perceptions of reality. They will influence your level of intelligence and impact the decisions you make, or even the choices you fail to even realize are possible to make. Your belief determines the flow of questions you tend to ask yourself throughout the day. Every morning, you get out, you leave the house, you go around undertaking your businesses. When you ask your own self questions about why things are happening or why things are not happening, the set of questions you ask yourself are determined by your beliefs. So these questions can either be helpful or unhelpful. Remember, in Ghana, where we are, and in most developing countries around the world, there are many people, when something happens to them, they say, oh, why me? Why me? Why me? You remember? Why at this time? Why is it always about me having bad luck? These questions are not intelligent questions. They are unhelpful questions. You could ask yourself better questions that gets you to take the right actions, to solve your problem, and that problem wouldn't repeat again in your life. So the questions you ask and how you ask these questions is dependent on the belief systems you hold. This likewise influences your ability to think creatively, constructively, and critically. Beliefs also determine how you feel about yourself, how you feel about others, and how you feel about the events and circumstances of your life. Understanding how your beliefs influence your feelings is fundamental because they often disguise what's real and instead present with you a false view of reality that only exists in your imagination. As a result, you will make choices based on this reality with an expectation of getting specific outcomes, which are just a mirage. However, your view of reality is flawed. You are missing essential elements to help you form a better decision. And therefore, no matter what decision you make, you will fail to attain the outcomes you desire to realize in your life. Beliefs will likewise determine the things you will or you won't do. They will determine what goals you will set, and more importantly, they determine how you go about accomplishing those goals. Moreover, they determine whether or not you realize you are actually making the right choices as you work on achieving those goals. Your beliefs essentially influence 95% of the decisions you make and the actions you take every day. I mean, your beliefs essentially influence 95% of the decisions you make and the actions you take. So over this period of your adult life, the decisions you have been making are based on your beliefs. They are based on your beliefs. And if those beliefs are reference to things that don't support your growth, whatever you do, you can never achieve your goals. But if those beliefs support your goals, then you will achieve success and success will repeatedly come to you. But in your case, as I coach you right now, you are here with me because you have set goals, but you cannot achieve them. So it certainly means that over the years, the beliefs which you have ingrained in your system are not helping you take the right actions towards your goals. I want to repeat this once again, that if you see a number of people consistently having motivation, having energy to achieve their goals, it is because over the years, the belief system they have developed in them supports the goals they have. For that matter, they constantly have energy, they constantly have motivation. But over the years, you were not lucky. The information that got to you, the learning from your teachers, the learning from your parents, all comes down to the beliefs you have currently, which are limiting you from achieving any goals which are higher than theirs and which are higher than your belief system. Your beliefs form the foundations of your self-concept, which determines how you see yourself in relation to the world around you. Yes, your beliefs form the foundations of your self-concept, which determines how you see yourself in relation to the world around you. The labels you give yourself, the limitations you put on yourself, and the expectations you have of yourself are all built upon your belief systems. And if your belief systems are not aligned with the goals and objectives you would like to accomplish, then you will often feel stuck, unfulfilled, and miserable. I say it again that your beliefs form the foundations of your self-concept, which determines how you see yourself in relation to the world around you. The labels you give yourself, the limitations you put yourself, and the expectations you have of yourself are all built upon your belief systems. And if your belief systems are not aligned with the goals and objectives you would like to accomplish, then you will often get stuck, unfulfilled, and miserable like you are feeling now. Yeah. This is the end of this session. I would like to see you in the next session where we continue to look at how to overcome limiting beliefs which have tied us down to mediocre. Thank you. You are welcome to this session. I want to take you through types of beliefs that controls how you act. Remember, we are coming from a foundation where you have set clear targets and goals, but no matter how hardworking you have been, you have never been able to achieve the goals. And in this coaching session, we have pointed to limiting beliefs as the reason why you are always unable to achieve those goals. So in this particular session, I want to share with you the various types of beliefs that controls how you act. This is a journey to helping you overcome your limiting beliefs. All types of beliefs that limit you in achieving success can be put into various types. However, for the purpose of this coaching, I am putting them into three: psychological rules, global beliefs, and convictions. Psychological rules form the foundations of each of your beliefs. They probably shouldn't be classified as beliefs, but rather as rules that support your beliefs. However, it is important I mention that they will help you do better understanding of the beliefs that are currently directing your decisions and actions. You believe something because you have a certain set of rules that tell you this something makes sense or it doesn't make sense at all. Therefore, if the rule makes sense, then it only makes sense to believe that what you are seeing and experiencing is the truth. Psychological rules often stem from the pain and pleasure response. Let's say, for instance, that you come across a specific situation. Your brain will ask whether making a certain decision or taking a particular action will result in pain or pleasure. This is true, right? When you come across a particular situation, your brain immediately asks you whether making a certain decision or taking a particular action will result in pain or pleasure for you. You then decide to take action that helps you avoid pain or to gain pleasure. Whatever you choose to do provides you with insight into the underlying hidden belief that is the core of that particular psychological rule. I say, whatever you decide to do when you encounter a situation is either to help you get the pain or get pleasure out of it. Say, for instance, you have a call to a potential client who is a high-paying client. So making this call seems daunting and would be difficult. However, you know that if you can secure this client, that could possibly generate some excellent revenue for your company and you. Therefore, you look at this situation and see two possible options. You either decide to make this call, or you can instead procrastinate about it and put it off until tomorrow. The first option brings you pain. The first option, which is to call the person right away, brings you pain because you are not comfortable to call this person because they are demanding. But then, the second option provides you with some pleasure and temporal relief. You now think to yourself, if I do this, what will happen? If I do this, then what will happen with that? Let's say that you choose to keep putting things off until tomorrow. You keep pushing action until tomorrow and therefore decide to procrastinate. And instead of focusing your attention on other matters, all this is very significant because your psychological rules dictated the decision you would make in this situation. And what's even more significant is that behind the decision, there lies a hidden and potentially limiting belief. That belief could be, I'm not good enough to put this call to this client. If I call this client and he demands a lot, I can't respond. Another could be, I don't deserve to be successful. Another could be, I'm a failure. So why do I have to even call him at all? Therefore, your rules might be, I should never do anything I'm not capable of doing. I should never do something I'm not comfortable doing. For me, I don't do things I'm not comfortable with. Or your rule would be that I must never take a risk that is beyond my ability. As a result of one or more of these beliefs, you have subsequently chosen to procrastinate instead of taking the necessary steps to secure this transaction that is so important to you. I take this again, that you are confronted with a situation, and anytime you are confronted with any situation, your first instinct tells you, based on your beliefs, are that there is a decision to make which will give you pain and perhaps give you pleasure in the long time, or take a decision that brings you pleasure. So the first one is that you are faced with calling a client who is a high-paying client. Your mind tells you that, no, I can put the call till tomorrow. Why do you put the call till tomorrow? Because you are looking for pleasure by not calling. The pleasure in this situation is that by not calling conforms with your norm, what you are used to, by not pushing out of the boundary. So you say that I'm not good enough to do this. In this case, you are not good enough to place that call to that person to get that contract. Or you say, I don't deserve to be successful. Just because of the bumps, the goosebumps, the butterflies flying in your tummy for calling that client, you say, I don't deserve to be successful, or I am a failure. You make a declarative statement, I am a failure. And I tell you that when you make decisions like this, based on these limiting beliefs, it means that in general, the rule you have that guides your life whenever something positive is coming into your life is that I should never do anything I'm not comfortable of doing. So that when you're supposed to call a client who's supposed to bring you money, because you're not comfortable, you don't do that, because your rule is that you must never take a risk that is beyond your ability. So as a result of one or more of these beliefs, you have subsequently chosen to procrastinate instead of taking the necessary steps to secure this transaction. What is significant about this is that your psychological rules influence the decision you ended up making. In other words, your perception and interpretation of what gives you pain and pleasure affected the end outcome. Your rules prioritized short-term pleasure over long-term pleasure, and this is directed you to avoid short-term pain, even though that short-term pain could potentially bring you long-lasting pleasure. I hope you get me clearly. These are in direct reference to your goals and how you take decisions to achieve them. I come back to the second type of limiting beliefs, which are global beliefs. These are generalizations you make about things, about people, and about life. You will, for instance, believe X and won't believe Y, no matter what. You believe X because you have made specific assumptions about X and Y. Global beliefs are assumptions you make that begin with, oh, I am not good enough, or life is not fair, or people are not trustworthy. When you find yourself making statements like this, making conclusions about you like this. These are the reasons why you have your goals, but you are not always able to achieve them. These are things you don't give much thought to. You merely accept them as being the truth, and you don't even question those things that could in any way. For instance, the sky looks blue, so therefore it must be blue. This is based on the assumption that something seems blue and therefore it's blue in all cases. But of course, you know that isn't true. It is not all the cases that the sky is blue. Another assumption you might be making is that all people lie and can't be trusted. This may be true in some social circles, but it is probably not true across the board. And you know that it is not true across board because I, talking to you, I am truthful. So if you make a sweeping statement that people lie and can't be trusted, it means you have an underlying limiting belief. And that kind of underlying limiting belief cannot make you succeed in achieving your goals. This global belief that people can be trusted might have been ingrained into your psyche from a young age. And now as an adult, you don't even consider other possibilities. It is true for you, and that is all that matters. This belief might very well have served you when you were a child. Not talking to strangers, not trusting people kept you out of danger. However, does this global belief serve you today? What opportunities does it deny you in the present circumstance? Yes, you believe that, and you were taught as a child that you don't talk to strangers. You believe that people lie and can't be trusted, and you have brought this with you in your old age. You want to make big gains. You have to deal with strangers because opportunities are everywhere. So now you are confronted with that ghost. You believe as a child that you don't talk to strangers, but this is not the case. You must talk to strangers. So this is where I tell you as a coach that that limiting belief doesn't serve you any longer. Many times, you are probably not even aware of the assumptions you have chosen that form the basis for your reality. It is the way you were raised, and that's all that matters. However, it is helpful to assume these things and to hold such global beliefs. If they don't serve you any longer, then they might actually be hindering you in the present moment. A third type of limiting beliefs are convictions. This is the advanced stage of limiting belief. Convictions. Convictions are the strongest beliefs and are often immune to logic. These are beliefs that have the highest unwavering certainty, commitment, and dedication. Convictions are beliefs that you have built over a lifetime that have a tremendous amount of references supporting them. Each of these references supports this belief and build the foundations of your conviction. Moreover, the amount of emotion, time, energy, and thought you have invested in these beliefs over a lifetime makes them virtually indestructible. Yes, you have invested everything into a conviction, so it makes it indestructible. It is not easy to get that conviction destroyed. This is, of course, good news and bad news because depending on the convictions you hold, if, for instance, you have a set of strong convictions that support your goals and the success you would like to achieve, then you are on the right track to achieving massive success. This is, in the essence, why high achievers find the motivation they need to keep going when facing adversity. But then, on the other hand, If you have a set of convictions that are in conflict with the goals you would like to achieve, then you will likely sabotage yourself and end up making little progress. Yeah, you'll end up making little progress. The biggest problem with convictions are that you probably don't even realize you have them. You are so stuck in your own habitual patterns that it's almost impossible to imagine that there are other alternative possibilities. However, this is an obstacle that you will need to overcome if you desire to unlock your full potential. Convictions. If they are based upon facts that support your growth, then hooray. But if they are facts or even fallacies that don't support your growth, then you will achieve very little success. And you are sitting in front of me, and I'm telling you that because you are unable to achieve your goals, if you set them with the needed clarity, you work very hard at them, but you're not able to achieve. It is because over the years, the convictions you have in mind do not support your goals. They do not support your growth. That is why you achieve little success. So you need to start replacing them. In this session, I welcome you to the process of clearing your limiting beliefs. I want to help you to identify your own limiting beliefs. We have come from far. We started the first session where I told you what limiting beliefs are. I also explained to you how limiting beliefs are developed. I just explained to you some of the types of limiting beliefs so that you get to know them, get to know the ones you have so you overcome them. So in this session, I want to help you to identify which limiting beliefs you have and how, and in the process, you are able to overcome. You have tried to achieve your goals, but you failed all the time. To achieve your goals, you will need to align certain fundamental psychological principles. Your goals must align with your life's purpose. Your goals must align with your needs. Your goals must align with your core values. They must align with your self-concept. They must align with your belief systems. Yes, if your goals don't align with your life's purpose, you cannot achieve them. The goals you have set for yourself, if they do not align with your life's purpose, they do not align with your needs, they do not align with your core values, they do not align with your self-concept, they do not align with your belief systems, then there is no way you can achieve those goals. This is where things break down for many people, and for you, this is where you broke down. You broke down by exhibiting an inability to achieve your goals because your goals don't align with your life purpose. They don't align with your core values. They don't align with your self-concept. They don't align with your belief systems. The limiting beliefs in your life are just too many that prevent you from moving forward, and that is why you continue to indulge in self-sabotaging behaviors. You continue to indulge in self-sabotaging behaviors even though you know you have a goal to achieve, but you are unable to achieve them because your limiting beliefs are just one too many. Given all this, your first step to transforming your limiting beliefs comes down to identifying those limiting beliefs. Your limiting beliefs often hide beyond conscious awareness. However, there are key signals I want you to look at. This will provide you with the clues you need to identify these limiting beliefs. These key signals are what stand your way in the form of obstacles and challenges along your journey towards your goals. You are not able to overcome obstacles and problems because of the limiting beliefs. that are occupying the space between your ears. You are not able to achieve successes because of the limiting beliefs that are occupying the space between your two eyes as well. Your limiting beliefs manifest in various ways. When you find yourself telling yourself, when you make excuses when it comes to achieving your goals, when you complain about things, when you indulge in negative thoughts, when you indulge in unhelpful habits, when you talk to yourself in limiting and unhelpful ways, when you jump to conclusions and make assumptions, when you hesitate or express fears in taking actions, when you worry about failure or about making mistakes, when you worry uncontrollably for no apparent reason, when you think about procrastinating, when you think about indulging in perfectionism, these are manifestations of your limiting beliefs. And there is no way you can achieve your goal if any of these questions come up in the process of you taking an action to achieve your goal. So now take all these things into consideration and list all the limiting beliefs that come to your mind as you work towards your goals. And yes, even if you are even thinking about your goal and something flashes in, whenever you thought about that goal, that dream of yours, that sense of resistance that is boiling up to the surface is that limiting belief which is preventing you from achieving your goal. The more internal resistance you experience, the more limiting beliefs are underlying dormant just below the surface of conscious awareness. For instance, you have a goal to earn an extra $50,000 this financial year. That is about 250,000 Ghana cedis. You have a goal to achieve it this year. However, as soon as you are thinking about this goal, you start feeling a certain uncertainty and uncomfortable. This is precisely where you will find your limiting belief. These are the beliefs you need to bring into conscious awareness. You can do so by asking yourself the following questions. What resistance am I feeling inside? Why I think about achieving this goal? Why can't I overcome certain challenges to achieve my goal? What is holding me back? What specifically is getting in my way? What unhelpful habits am I indulging in? How am I thinking about this situation? What am I saying or doing to myself that is holding me back? What excuses do I tend to indulge in? What do these excuses mean at all? Why do I make them? Why do I think this is too hard for me to do? What is stopping me? Why? What kind of things do I tend to complain about? What are the things I tend to blame others for? Do I potentially have any psychological rules that are preventing me from moving forward? What negative thoughts do I intend? What negative pessimistic thoughts do I tend to indulge in while pursuing these my goals? What assumptions or conclusions am I making about my inability to achieve this goal? Do I have any global beliefs that might be holding me back? What do I expect should happen? And what usually ends up happening? Why is there a discrepancy there? Are my standards too low? Why? Maybe I should set higher standards. Do I have any values that are in conflict with my goals? What do I believe about these values? How am I labeling myself? How am I describing myself as I work towards this goal? How could this be causing problems in my life? What stories do I tell myself about why I should or I shouldn't be doing something? Why? What stories do I tell myself How is this significant in my life at all? Having taken the time to reflect over these questions, it is now important that you specify correctly what kind of limiting beliefs are currently holding you back. Ask yourself, what insights do the answers to these questions provide about my limiting beliefs? What specific limiting beliefs are holding me back right now? How are these limiting beliefs preventing me from achieving my desired goals and objectives? How are these limiting beliefs denying me the opportunity to become who I want to be? See, remember that your limiting beliefs are assumptions you make about reality that aren't true in your particular situation. I mean, in your situation, these assumptions you make are not true. They aren't helpful either, and they certainly don't serve you or the goals you want to achieve for yourself. Yes, they don't serve you in any way. So for now, you are able to tell, based on the questions you have asked yourself, what limiting beliefs are in your life. Thank you for participating in this session, and join us in the next session. So I take you through how to overcome your limiting beliefs. I am continuing the process of helping you clear all your limiting beliefs. In this session, I am helping you to understand how your limiting beliefs were formed. Remember, this is very important and critical portion of this process in helping you to be able to clear and transform your mind. We are here because you have your goals, you have dreams that you have worked so hard at over the years. You have sleepless nights and you do everything possible to be able to achieve these goals, but you are unable to achieve them due to your limiting beliefs. So now, how were all these limiting beliefs formed in your life? To know how these were formed, ask yourself, how did I come to form this particular limiting belief? How did I come to form this particular limiting belief? What has made me hold on to this belief for so long? If you ask yourself these two questions, understanding how these beliefs came into existence can help you work through them so effectively. These beliefs are linked to childhood memories and experiences that no longer serve your greater good. Unlocking these memories can help you to let go of specific experiences and even forgive certain people that did you some wrong. You will go ahead to encourage yourself by forgiving yourself. Another reason why it is important to search for origins of your limiting belief is that every belief you hold on to has a set of references that support it. And by understanding the origins of this belief, you put yourself in a prime position to pinpoint the various references that have been feeding this belief. To help you do this, ask yourself the following questions. What kind of references support this belief that I have? What knowledge support this belief? What life experiences support this belief? What intense emotional experiences support this belief that I have? How have I held on to this belief in my imagination over the years? What have I held on to? What specific things have I imagined? What stories have I concocted just to support this belief? Many of these references have been concocted in your imagination. Yes, that is true. Many of these references have been concocted in your imagination just to be able to support this belief you have in your mind, and therefore they don't have any real basis in reality. Other references are based on false knowledge or assumptions. But then there are so many references that are actually based on real life experiences. However, over time, your brain has a tendency to distort past experiences to protect you from pain. Therefore, what you think may have happened in the past may not have really happened the way you imagine it today. For this reason, it is worthwhile spending some time digging into these experiences to unlock the truth behind your limiting beliefs. To let go your limiting beliefs, it is important to mention that each of your limiting beliefs serves a purpose. They are there because they protect you from something. This something often manifests as a form of pain. Of course, they manifest to protect you from pain. What it does is that each of your limiting beliefs had good intentions, and these intentions are often there to protect you. However, frequently and most often, when it comes to limiting beliefs, these intentions can be misguided. They protect you from short term pain, which unfortunately often leads you to long term pain. Limiting beliefs come across, it gushes into your brain when you are thinking of achieving bigger dreams. But this limiting beliefs comes in to protect you from short-term pains that you are going to take in order to achieve long-term benefits. But then these short-term pains that you are trying to protect by bringing forth these limiting beliefs unfortunately leads you to long-term pains in place of long-term benefits. Moving forward, therefore, it is critical to determine what you are gaining by holding on to each of your limiting beliefs. If you manifest your limiting beliefs through excuses, you manifest your limiting beliefs through blaming others, or you manifest your limiting beliefs through any form, ask yourself, how am I deriving pleasure by holding on to this limiting belief? What good intention does this belief provide for me? What value am I gaining by holding on to this belief? I told you that if you set any goals as you have currently, but then you consistently find yourself not being able to achieve it because that devil in your mind keeps popping up. Oh, wait until next year. Oh, people of your kind are not able to do it. Oh, your religion doesn't support your belief. Oh, you don't have enough skill. So ask yourself, how am I driving pleasure by holding on, by not starting to implement what I want to implement? Ask yourself, by not starting to implement what I want to do, what good intention does that belief in me give me? Ask yourself, what value am I gaining by not starting what I have to start, by always procrastinating? To replace your limiting belief with a more empowering belief, you will need to convince yourself that the value you are deriving from this limiting belief isn't required any longer. Otherwise, your new empowering belief must in some way fill this void. Therefore, you either fill this void or you eliminate the void altogether. The emotional intensity of each of your limiting beliefs can be measured using submodalities. Submodalities are ways in which you interpret and then represent your world using your five senses. It is all about how you visualize things, how you hear things, and how you feel things internally. The limiting beliefs that are most difficult to overcome are supported by very vivid, emotionally intense submodalities. Let's say, for instance, that you want to earn $50,000 by the end of 2021. However, you have fear of starting any side income business. You fear losing money. You fear risk. Hence, this is apparently a huge obstacle that will prevent you from reaching this goal. The main reason you are afraid is that you exaggerate things in your mind to such an extent that it scares you. Everything becomes visually and kinesthetically intense when you think about risk. Blood begins to rush through your head, begins to rush through your heart, and you begin to feel uncomfortable when it comes to thinking about what to invest in to be able to make more money in addition to your salary. There is, of course, limiting beliefs that are attached to this fear, which tells you risk is dangerous, business is risky, you can lose money out of doing business. This might or might not be true. However, because you believe in it, it is therefore true for you. You believe that business is risky. You just have to do your work from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., which is safe and certain for you. But you believe in your mind that it is risky to do business, even though you want to earn additional income. But the fear of losing money is preventing you from starting anything, and that is the basis for your limiting belief. Given this, take one of your limiting beliefs and ask yourself, how do I picture this limiting belief in my mind? How do I imagine it in my mind's eye? What does this limiting belief look like specifically? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? What does this limiting belief smell like? What does it taste like? One way to make this belief less intense is to adjust the submodalities you use whilst thinking about this fear. Yes, of course, I say one way to make this belief less intense is to adjust the submodalities you use whilst thinking about this fear. Instead of picturing this scary scenario in your head about the dangers involved in running a side income job, try instead toning down, turning things down into little and distancing yourself from your fear using your imagination. Try this, that the intensity of your limiting belief or manifestation as fear is reduced, and as a result, you'll be in a better place to emotionally overcome this mental roadblock. It is important to note that some of your limiting beliefs may, in fact, have some basis in reality. These beliefs are not based on assumptions, but instead upon facts. If they are based on facts, then you will need to treat these beliefs as problems in your life that must be solved. They are, in essence, the physical obstacles that you must circumvent to clear the path to your goals. And to be able to do this, you need to tell yourself the following, and you must, in fact, ingrain it in your mind. Tell yourself that everything you do with your life, you are responsible for the change that will come into your life. Hence, responsibility for change rests in your hands. Change happens instantly when you are committed to doing so, and things must change now. It is only when you accept these changes as being your truth, accepting that responsibility is in your hands, accepting that change must happen instantly when you are committed, and accepting that things must change now. It is only when you accept these truths that you begin working through the belief transformation process. Yes, it's only when you accept these truths that you begin to work through this transformation process. You cannot say the responsibility for your actions are based on another person. You cannot assume that change must happen when you are not committed, and you cannot say that change should happen when you don't want it to start happening now. It doesn't happen that way. Welcome to the concluding part of this coaching session. How to transform your limiting beliefs into empowering beliefs that support your goals. You are someone who knows exactly what you want in life. You know what your goals are, but you are constantly unable to achieve them no matter how hardworking you are. This is why you must listen to this session. How to transform your limiting beliefs into that of empowerment to achieve all your goals. Your first step is to figure out what it is you want. These are your goals, objectives, and the outcomes you would like to achieve. These are the things you've been working toward for weeks, for months, and even years, but for one reason or the other, there are things you've been unable to achieve. You are being held back because you have a set of limiting beliefs that are sabotaging your progress. However, at this stage, I don't want you to worry about these beliefs. Right now, what is important for you to do is to clarify what it is you want. So, to clarify what it is you want, I want you to ask yourself these questions. What is it that I want so badly in my life? What goals would I like to achieve? What kind of person would I like to become? Why do I want all these? What are the benefits? Why do I want all these things? Why do I want these in my life? The more reasons you find to pursue something, the higher motivation you will have to follow through with your actions. And to change, you must find the motivation needed to make these changes. For this very reason, it is vital that you spend time figuring out exactly why you want to achieve one goal or the other. And more importantly, figure out the benefits you will derive from achieving any goal you set in your life. You should by now have identified all the limiting beliefs that are holding you back in life. And this is unfortunately where most people stop. Many people that I coach believe that as soon as you know what your limiting beliefs are, then it is as good as overcoming them. But no. This is not the case. You think that having an awareness of your limiting beliefs will now encourage you to think differently about your life and circumstances. And there is undoubtedly the truth. There is where you lock up. Being aware of your beliefs will indeed encourage you to think differently about them. However, I repeat that, however, your limiting beliefs have the support of many references. A significant amount of these references probably have a lot of emotional investment behind them, which is where the problems lie. I mean, you know what your limiting beliefs are, but then you have invested so much emotions into believing these limiting beliefs. That is where the problem lies, because you are not going to be easily able to throw them away and transform your life. You can't just go through this process and hope that you will change your mind. Whenever you have a high level of emotion invested in something, it creates a higher barrier to change. You will need to cut your ties with that emotional anchor. And this will require some work. In fact, the deeper the belief and conviction, the more difficult this process is going to be and the longer it will take you. Yes, I mean, if your limiting beliefs are deep and anchored around emotions and convictions, then there is more difficulty for you. There is more difficulty in going through solving it. And it is going to take a longer period of time. So as you work through this, it is important you remain observant and curious. You must be open to possibilities. You must welcome new perspectives, and you must accept alternate viewpoints. Being receptive and willing to adapt to changing conditions and circumstances lies at the cornerstone of any change that you would like to make. This is especially true when it comes to transforming your limiting beliefs. I have been taking you through the introductory part of how to transform your limiting beliefs. Prepare now and dip yourself deeper into the steps to clearing your limiting beliefs. There are 9 steps to transforming your limiting beliefs into empowering beliefs. The first is for you to choose your desired outcome. The second is to question your limiting beliefs. The third is to consider the consequences of your limiting beliefs. The fifth is to choose a new empowering belief to adopt. The next is to strengthen your new empowering belief into your life, and then make a firm decision about what change to make. Then progressively condition your new belief into your life. Make room for this new belief in your life. And the last is for you to begin using your new empowering belief for transformation. I take you through a step-by-step process in transforming these limiting beliefs into empowering beliefs. Step 1, as I mentioned, is to choose your desired outcome. Your very first step is to choose your desired outcome. This will help you gain clarity about what it is you would like to change. To do this, ask yourself, what goals would I like to achieve? What's currently preventing me from achieving these goals? What kind of person would I ideally like to become? What is it specifically that I would like to change in my life? What specific beliefs are not working for me? What beliefs are preventing me from achieving my desired outcomes? You ask yourself these deep questions, and it gradually becomes clearer for you what you want to achieve. And once you are clear about the limiting beliefs that are holding you back, you can move to the next step, which is to question the limiting beliefs which have been preventing you from achieving your dream. Your limiting beliefs are only as strong as the references that support them. And often, your limiting beliefs probably have many references that influence your perspectives on reality. It is important to keep in mind that these references were only once ideas that became opinions and later came together to form your beliefs. As such, they aren't real. They are, of course, real for you, but that is only in your perspective. That is only in your mind. Change your perspective and opinion about them, and you will likewise throw doubt on your limiting beliefs. And that is precisely what I want to take you through right now. I want you to question the limiting beliefs you have in your mind, which is preventing you from achieving your goals. I want you to throw doubt on them. And how do you do that? Ask yourself the following questions. These beliefs have been that have been haunting me over the years, is this belief really that accurate? Have I always believed this, and why have I believed it? Was there a time in my life that I didn't believe this, and why? Are there times in some situations when this belief just doesn't make any rational sense to me? What evidence is there that disproves this limiting belief? What's the exact opposite way of thinking about this belief? How is this helpful? What evidence is there that disproves this limiting belief? What's funny about this limiting belief? What's strange about it? What is so embarrassing about this belief that I keep in my mind? Is this belief helping me get what I want most in life? Will it help me reach my goals? How will others question the validity of this belief? How would they think about it? How does the opposite of what I believe work for other people? How is this value? What famous quotes throw doubt upon this limiting belief? How will I think about this belief if I was a child? How will I think about this belief if I was Dangote of Nigeria? How will I think about this belief if I was Bill Gates? How will I think about this belief if I was Coach DY? If I was Albert Einstein? If I were an entrepreneur, how will I think about the help this belief gives me? If I were a stone, how would this belief make use to me? If I were an elephant or even an ant, would this belief have any use for me? Definitely, some of these questions will sound silly and strange to you, but they are designed. I have designed these questions to help you expand your perspective and possibilities of your situation. These questions are designed to encourage you to think outside the box. They are designed to make you feel a little uncomfortable, and they are, of course, designed to help shift how you think about your limiting belief. I just asked you questions, and in fact, you ask yourself questions, interrogating the belief that have held you down over the years. The more effort you put into answering these questions that you ask yourself, the more doubt you will throw on your limiting belief, and the faster you will move through this belief transformation process. Step 3 is for you to consider the consequences of your limiting beliefs. Having thrown doubt on your limiting belief, it is now time to consider the consequences of holding on to this belief. Really have a long, good time and hard thinking about the following questions. What would the consequences be if I am unable to make this change and eliminate this limiting belief? How will not changing affect me physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, in my relationship with others? How will not changing affect my life? What are the short-term consequences of not changing? What are the potential long-term consequences of not changing my life? How? How will all this make me feel? Given all this, why is it important to make this change right now? You are keeping strong hold of that limiting belief, and I'm asking you, you want life to be better for you. You want your financial life to be better. You want your spiritual life to be better. You want your emotional life to be better. You want your love life to be better. But you keep holding on to these limiting beliefs. And I ask you, how will you not change, keep you in distress, in grief, in pain, in the short little term? How will you not change affect you? And in the long run, when you are on your deathbed, how will this posture of you not wanting to change affect you? The more pain you can associate with holding on to this belief, the more motivation you will have to make a positive change in your life. You are poor. Your love life is bad. You don't have love in your life. You don't have happiness. You can't associate any successes to your life. Your professional life is weak because you have kept many limiting beliefs in your life. It is killing you, but you there are still keeping it. You don't want to make the needed changes to move on in life. How painful is it, the life you are living right now, that you don't want to change? For this reason, it is paramount that you move through these questions progressively, one at a time, and fully experience the pain passing through all your sensory organs. Feel the pain, feel the anger, experience the grief, think about the regrets, and even allow yourself to cry. The more pain you generate, the more motivation you will have to change, because you don't deserve to be here. The more pain you generate by keeping on to these beliefs, the more motivation you will have to change and achieve your goals. Step 4 is to choose a new empowering belief to adopt. Choose a new empowering belief to adopt. You must now choose a new empowering belief that you would like to use moving forward. The one guiding principle is that make sure that this new belief is believable. If it is not believable, then you will unfortunately fail to condition it into your psyche. To unlock this new empowering belief, take into consideration the goal you would like to achieve, the person that you want to become, and the core values you would like to uphold. Then ask yourself the following set of questions from a third person's perspective. What would this person likely believe while in pursuit of this goal? What would this person believe about themselves? What would this person believe about their goal? What is their attitude? How do they think about this goal? What would this person believe after having achieved their goal? How would they think about the obstacles they confront along their journey? What would they believe if they had to achieve this goal again and for a second time and for a third time? And this person is you. That pain you feel in your heart, but that goal you see in the air. If you achieve this goal, how will your life be? How will you feel about your life? Those people out there who have achieved this your goal and doubled the achievement of this goal, what is their attitude like? What is their belief like? How do they believe their goals? How do they set their goals? And how do they go about achieving their goals? Now consider the advantages of this belief and how it could potentially help improve your life and circumstances by asking yourself, what are the benefits of using this new belief? What are the benefits of using this new empowering belief? How will this new belief help me to attain my goals? How will this belief change my life for the better? How will this belief change the way I see and interact with people? How will this belief help me in the short term and in the long term? How will all this make me feel about myself? To what extent is this belief likely to empower me moving forward? Why is it so important? What does it all really mean to me? The more reasons you can find, the more motivation you will have to change your old patterns of behavior and replace them with new empowering systems. Step 5. Strengthen your new empowering belief. Ask yourself these questions. What kind of behaviors, decisions, and actions could help me strengthen this belief? What habits and rituals could help me strengthen this belief? What famous quotes could potentially help me strengthen this belief in my heart? Are there any symbols I could use that might help me strengthen this belief? Could I create a slogan for myself that might help me strengthen this belief? Are there any stories that support the philosophy behind this new empowering belief? What about role models? Are there any role models out there I could turn to that could help me strengthen this belief? Yes. You are thinking of an empowering belief in your mind that supports you to achieve all your goals. And I'm asking you to ask yourself these questions. What kind of behaviors, decisions, and actions could help me strengthen this belief? What habits, what rituals could help me strengthen this belief? What famous quotes could potentially help me strengthen this belief in my life? Are there any symbols I could use that might help me strengthen this belief? Could I create slogan for myself that might help me strengthen this belief? Are there any stories that support the philosophy behind this new empowering belief? What about role models? Are there people out there that have already achieved this kind of goal that I want to achieve that I could get motivation from? One of the most practical ideas involved is simply finding a handful of quotes that support the philosophy behind your new empowering belief. So write these quotes down on a piece of paper and keep them in your pocket. Keep them in your breast pocket especially. Then whenever you feel yourself indulging in your old habits, take some time to read them over and over again. Read these quotes. This will help you get back on track. It is easy as that. And what's more, each time you read these quotes, you build stronger references that will help you support your new empowering belief moving forward. Likewise, keeping an eye out on stories, documentaries, and films that support the philosophy behind your empowering belief. Keep them listed on that sheet of paper as well. Then turn to these stories for some added insight, direction, and inspiration. In my life, growing up, everybody else around me was a teacher. The very few people who were not teachers were doing government work. So life was kind of cut for me that whilst I'm in school, I should study. When I pass, I go into a teacher training college. Then when I leave, then I become a teacher. But my life is not to be a teacher. The books I have read, the people I have as my models are not teachers. They are entrepreneurs. In other videos that I have already done, which are on YouTube, I have stated that growing up, poverty and having to see poverty and feel poverty was so much ingrained in my mind. And having gone through this transformation process, it has helped me a lot to be able to overcome this fear and this limiting belief of everybody having to be a teacher. For that matter, I should also be a teacher. My empowering belief is that entrepreneurship is the best way to end poverty. For that matter, I must do everything possible to become an entrepreneur and to help a little way to end poverty in me, in the people around me, and in the universe. That is how come I have several businesses that generate employment for many and that generate lots of money for me. For this reason, I have references in books that I read. I have references in the role models that are in my country and elsewhere around the world, and I have their books that I read. I have their videos that I watch. So these videos I watch, these books that I read, these audios that I listen to are references for me. They are references for me that become ingrained in my life. That supports my belief that only entrepreneurship is the way to curbing poverty in my life and the life of many people around the world. For that matter, you working through your belief transformation process comes down to building solid references that help support your new empowering belief. Whichever way your goal is, and whichever way your limiting belief comes into your life. To transform it, you find an alternate, empowering belief and associated references that makes it too strong to replace that limiting belief in your heart. So you are able to now live a new life. The more references you are able to collect, the stronger your new belief will come. And this will subsequently weaken your old limiting belief. Just keep building the evidence against your limiting belief and in favor of your empowering belief. Once the evidence begins to overwhelm that limiting belief in support of your empowering belief, then the tables will turn. I tell you, the tables will turn. If your fear is that you cannot become rich because you are in Africa, because you are in India, because you are in Cambodia, you can find references that support your belief that you want to become richer whilst in Africa, whilst in Cambodia, whilst in India. Because there are many references around. There are many wealthy people who are in Africa. There are many wealthy people who are in Cambodia. There are many wealthy people who are in India and around the world. You can find many references of bigger and beautiful buildings around. Who are the owners of those buildings in Africa and in Asia and in your country? You can find many references that will reinforce your mind that you can be wherever you are and still achieve your goals. Just keep building the evidences against your limiting belief in favor of your empowering belief. Once the evidence begins to become overwhelmingly in support of your empowering belief, then that is when the tables turn and your mindset will permanently shift. Step 6. Make a firm decision about what to change in your life. You must now make a firm decision that you will begin making the necessary changes to overcome your limiting belief every day. For this to happen, you must have the necessary commitment, self-confidence, and motivation to make the required changes to stick in your life. To help you do this, I want you to ask yourself the following questions. What's my commitment level to making this change? Do I feel confident that I can successfully make this change to happen? How motivated am I to make this change? So go through each of these questions and rank them from 1 to 10. If you are not at least 8 out of 10 on all these 3 questions, then go back to the previous steps and work through them again. And which are the steps? The steps are: 1. Be clear what you want to achieve with your life. Be clear what you want to achieve as a goal. Then question your limiting belief. Consider the consequences of your limiting beliefs. Choose a new empowering belief to adopt. 5 is strengthen your new empowering belief. And we are at 6, that I'm telling you to make a firm decision about what to change. If you can't make a firm decision about what to change in the form of having confidence, in the form of believing yourself, in the form of believing yourself, and in the form of being committed to making the change, then I tell you that you need to go back from step 1 before you get to step 7. Step 7 now talks about progressively conditioning your new belief in your life. Having committed yourself to this new empowering belief, it is now time to progressively condition this new belief into your nervous system. And there are some ways you can do this. First of all, I introduce you to progressive process of visualization. In my life, whilst I was being prepared to become a teacher, my goals were to become an entrepreneur and make lots of money. So, how do I do that? After ensuring that I have books, I have role models, I have audios that I listen to, that I watch, and that I look up to be able to replace that with the feeling, with the preparation of becoming a teacher. I visualize a lot in becoming an entrepreneur, and that is eventually what I became. Spend time daily visualizing yourself in your imagination, using this new way of thinking in your day to day undertakings. Take note of the actions you take, the decisions you make, how you talk to yourself, how you speak to others, and how you relate with your new empowering belief. Think about your new attitude and the results that this new belief is helping you to manifest in your life. You are, in essence, imagining a new and better you in your mind's eye, and then transferring the new you from your imagination into the physical world. Yes, you are transferring the imagination in your head, in your mind, into the physical world. And remember, if you can't imagine you being something, you can never be that thing. Everything first begins in your imagination and then gets transferred across into the real world. Doing things this way will help you to develop self confidence that you need to work with this new belief. You have to also anchor the new belief into your nervous system. This primarily involves anchoring a physical sensation to your body that will automatically allow you to get into an optimal state of mind that is in support of your new empowering belief. Thirdly, condition this new belief into your nervous system by making some helpful adjustments to your submodalities. These modifications can help add more emotional firepower to your new belief. This will increase the strength of the references that help support this belief. And finally, emulate other people who are actively living this empowering belief. Get to know these people and find out what makes them tick. So find a role model. Whatever you want to achieve in this world, there are many, many people out there who have achieved it. So just learn from them. Look at them and find motivation, find strength that if they can do it, you can do it as well. If you can't find these people near you, if they are not accessible that you can talk to one on one, then learn from their books, from their documentaries, from their films, and from their interviews. The results will be the same. Find out why they do what they do, how they do it, what their motivations are. Then emulate them and model their decisions and actions. This will help you build even more references that support your new belief. In the end, what's more important is reminding yourself about the value of this new belief and how it will help improve your life moving forward. Step 8 in transforming your limiting beliefs into empowering belief is to make room for this new belief in your life. At this time, it is important to make the necessary changes to your values, your environment, your thoughts, your language patterns, and your life. Everything must align to support your new empowering belief. If it conflicts, if it conflicts with your goal, then you probably find it difficult to adopt this new belief. For this very reason, you must make the necessary changes to allow for a successful transition by asking yourself, is this new belief consistent with my values? Do any changes need to be made? How must my thoughts and perspectives change to match this new belief? How must I alter my language patterns to match this new belief? Do I need to develop some new habits, new rituals that will help support this new belief? How must I change my environment to match this new belief? Are there any other aspects of my life that need adjusting in order to integrate this new belief successfully into my life? I told you, whilst I was being prepared to take up a job with government so that I work from 8 to 5 until I go on retirement and then die, my goals were completely different. Over time, I replaced that kind of preparation and that belief in my mind to say entrepreneurship is the only way. Doing my own business is the only way for me to get lots of money that I can give out anytime I want. I can give any amount I want and I can spend the way I want. For this reason, I prepared myself by making the necessary changes, by reading, by listening, by watching documentaries, by finding my role models. And in this, I had to adopt and adapt to new attitudes. If you want to become something, you behave like that thing. So instead of learning to become a worker for government, I learned now to become a worker for myself. The necessary changes that I needed to make for myself, I made it. Therefore, asking yourself these needed questions will help you to make the needed changes that you need to make. If you have to go back to school, you have to go back to school. If you have to change certain thoughts in your mind, you have to do it. If you have to change the new belief, change them so that it comes consistently with your new goals and that you are able to achieve them effortlessly. So that when it comes to altering your language patterns, you might like to use scripted affirmations throughout your day. These affirmations will help you to stay on track. Affirmations such as, I can do it. I believe in myself. I am strong, confident, and capable. I am healthy. I will find a way to make things work for me. When you have these affirmations, it empowers you, it motivates you to be able to go around whatever obstacles you have. But then, there are more powerful things than just affirmations. These are asking yourself questions when such beliefs pop up in your life. Asking yourself, how can I do this? How can I solve this problem? What are my strengths? How can I use them to master self-confidence that I need to get this done? How can I make this work easy for me? What if I tried again, I can succeed? What could help me make this better? Who can also help me make this better? How can I achieve successive successes? Success upon success upon success. When you ask your brain these questions, answers begin to pop up for you. When you ask yourself these questions, you are no longer focused on what can't be done, but rather you are focused on what possibilities are out there before you. Moreover, you begin thinking proactively and taking decisive actions towards your desired outcomes. Yes, you will make mistakes, but then if you continue asking yourself proactive questions, you will quickly learn from those mistakes and make corrections. And each time you try, you are going to become successful. I introduce you to step 9 in how to transform your limiting beliefs into empowering beliefs. This is begin using your new empowering beliefs. Take action and get into the habit of using your new empowering beliefs. Use them as often as possible until it begins to feel comfortable and familiar for you. As I sit now, as I coach you, When an investment decision comes to me, I just make it without even doubting my abilities. I make it and feel confident about the fact that that is the right thing to do. I made my decision long ago that entrepreneurship is where I am going, and then I see possibilities in that. You may, of course, need to get through some awkward feelings at the start, and it happens to everybody. You feel a little discomfort and uncertainty. This is normal. I felt it too. Bill Gates felt it. Dan Lok felt it. Warren Buffett felt it. Dangote felt it. Everybody who ever achieved massive success felt some discomfort, some butterflies in the tummy when they were starting. That's normal. But with persistence, with dedication and commitment, you will get through it. Just keep moving forward. Everybody you see flying high kept moving. Write down your new belief on a sheet of paper and carry it around with you throughout the day. Read your new belief as often as possible until it begins feeling comfortable and natural. When it begins feeling comfortable and natural, your body naturally behaves naturally towards that, and you feel comfortable. As you make progress along your journey, it is important to always stay flexible in your approach. As you work towards your goals, other limiting beliefs will pop up. Remember, in the previous sessions, I made you to recount all the limiting beliefs that blocks you. But then, some limiting beliefs are so embedded in your life that they never pop up until that great vision of yours comes into your life. And then that deep-seated belief now pops up. So I am alerting you that after going through this coaching process in clearing your limiting beliefs and replacing it with empowering belief, there are certain bigger goals when you set them. There were some dormant limiting beliefs down there. They'll begin to pop up. When you are aware of this, then you then go through the process again to clear that dormant belief that just popped up. When you do this, you get perfection, you get comfortable to be able to achieve all those to be able to achieve all those empowering goals you have. Now you are stepping into new territory. Given this, it is helpful that you come back to those transformation processes that I've just taken you through. If you have 1,000 goals to achieve, each of them may have 1,000 corresponding limiting beliefs, and you have to clear all of them one by one. If you have malaria, you have fever. At the same time, you can be infected with cholera as well. So you need to treat all of them to become well and healthy. So if you have 1,000 goals in your life, you need to clear all the limiting beliefs that affect all of them. The most important thing for you to do is then to clear the first one, which is the very foundation. When you clear the first one, the processes become very easy for you. So you are able to clear all other limiting beliefs that pops up whenever you have a goal to achieve. I conclude with you by telling you that overcoming your limiting beliefs aren't easy. It takes a significant amount of work, introspection, and time. It isn't a one-off kind of thing, because achieving success is also not a one-off activity. You don't just go through this process once and then forget about it. It is rather an ongoing process of steps that you must revisit time and time again. You must therefore commit yourself to long-term change. When you commit yourself to long-term change, the transformation would become obvious in your life. Remember that the belief that got you to where you are today with me didn't come into your life just at once. Therefore, removing them would take time And you need to commit yourself to doing that. The beliefs that got into your life came in yesterday. If they benefited you, it benefited you yesterday, but you want to go forward, and these new beliefs will let you go forward and not the old beliefs. Your beliefs must therefore change. They must change alongside your goals. Each goal you have should come with corresponding transformational mindset. If they don't change, then you don't change as well. And your goals will always remain out of reach if you don't change. So each goal should come with a new transformational mindset. I want to congratulate you so much. Until we meet again in my next video, I believe in you. I believe you can make the needed changes in your life. I believe you can achieve all your goals, even if you don't believe in yourself. You can achieve all your goals. Just clear all the limiting beliefs that have deep-seated in your life, and then you can achieve all the goals. Congratulations once again. Until we meet again. I am your coach, DY. Bye-bye.